Why did you make me do this? You're fighting so you can see me use other pyro characters besides you. Think, Amber. You'll live long enough and still not get a buff. You'll live long enough to see other pyro characters outlast you. Everyone and everything will forget you exist. What will you have after 10 years?
You, traveler, I still have you.
Outrider Amber. Oh, where do I even start? Jesus, I didn't think the community disliked her this much. Honestly, I don't really have any problems maining Amber. Like many characters, you can play her in a variety of roles, so without further ado, let's begin with the video. Amber, Outrider of the Knights of Favonius, is a pyro archer. She has always been there since day one, and you guys keep dissing her, so don't make me come down there and beat the shit out of you, you ungrateful pieces of Where was I? Oh yeah, now it's time to discuss her playstyle. Amber excels at dealing damage to enemy weak spots. Her Baron Bunny allows her to distract enemies, and her Fiery Rain, well,
Rain's fucking fire.
now, let's look at how you could build her. There are multiple ways to build Amber. Build number 1. I didn't choose the Archer Life, the Archer Life chose me. The build focuses around charge shots and aiming. For this build, I recommend using 4-piece Wanderer's Trope, but if you're like me, frowned upon by RNGesus, then 2-piece Glad and 2-piece Crimson Witch is the way to go. For early game, I recommend 4-piece Martial Artist if possible, or just 2-piece Martial Artist and 2-piece Braveheart or Sojourner. Build number 2. I can't aim for shit, so I main Rust on Amber. The build is for mad lads who built a physical DPS Amber. I don't know why you would do this, but it works somehow. Artifact sets I recommend: 2-piece Bloodstain or 2-piece Veiled Flame, and 2-piece Glad. You can switch around those artifacts for whatever you want. Early game, same thing I recommended for build number 1. Build number 3.
Go Baron Bunny!
If you have Constellation 2 Amber, you may notice the value of your Baron Bunny. I mean, look at this. 200% attack for manually detonating the thing. Artifact sets, let's go. You can run a variety of sets, but I personally would run 4-piece Crimson Witch to do elemental reactions, or just run 2-piece Crimson or Gladiators. For early game artifacts, same thing as build 1s and 2. Build number 4, California Wildfire. Yeah, here's the freaking team. The California Wildfires. We're gonna set everything on fire. For this build, you spam the shit out of your elemental burst and rain fire on ignorant savages. Okay, artifacts. 2-piece Noblesse Oblige and 2-piece Crimson Witch. Or you could run 4-piece Noblesse. That's it. For early game, just freaking run whatever you want. This early game artifacts are not really as good. Came to the wrong house. Here to die. Burn it all. Now let's go over weapon choices. The bow, 5 stars. It's no brainer that the Amos bow and Skyward Harp are the best options for her. Elegy of the End is another option if you're running the California Wildfire build. Amos bow is great for a Charge Shot Amber build, and Skyward Harp can be great overall for Elemental Burst and Baron Bunny spam with her Constellation 2. 4-star bows. Compound Bow and Rust are great for physical DPS Amber. I would recommend using Rust over the Compound Bow, especially if you have high refinements for Rust. Stringless, good for C2 Amber and Burst Support Amber. Prototype Crescent is the best of the craftable bows for Charge Shot Amber build. Iridescent Hunt and Black Cliff Bow are good overall for any build because of the crit substats. Livonius Warbow, good for spamming Amber's Burst, giving you more chances to burn California down to the fucking soil. Royal Bow and Alley Hunter, noteworthy but not recommended. Same goes for Sacrificial Bow. Now we go to 3-star bows. These bows are actually somewhat pretty good. Messenger and Sharpshooter's Oath, best for Charge Shot Amber. Slingshot, good overall in all departments since it has crit rate. Time for passive talents. Talent 1, Degenerates like you belong on the cross. Wait, wrong game. Talent 1, your California Wildfire covers more acres and gets more crit rate. Talent 2, you get 15% attack for 10 seconds when you hit the weak spot of enemies. Talent 3.
Would gliding be faster?
Moving on to Constellations. Constellation 1. You fire 2 arrows when you do a charge shot. The second arrow is significantly weaker like the trees in California. Okay, that's enough. Constellation 2. Baron Bunny goes from being a grenade to a 500 kilogram bomb. Constellation 3. Your wildfire turns into the Australian bushfires. Increases talent level of your burst. Constellation 4. You can pack 2 Baron Bunnies. Also, there's a decrease for 20% for the cooldown. Constellation 5. Your Baron Bunny goes from being a 500 kilogram bomb into a 1000 kilogram bomb. Constellation 6. Oh shit, the police are after you after starting those wildfires. After setting a fucking wildfire, you get 15% movement speed and attack for 10 seconds. Now, let's start talking about the pros and cons of Amber. Pros. Number 1. Amber is a pyro character. Pyro is one of the meta elements right now. Number 2. As an archer, you can aim for weak spots for most enemies from a distance. Number 3. Baron Bunny is handy for taunting enemies. Number 4. Amber is great for exploration, solving pyro puzzles, and reducing gliding stamina. Now it's time for the cons. Number 1. Although her burst can hit pretty well, it can be tricky to use it. Her burst has a really high scaling in terms of damage, but it requires all heroes to be hit. Meaning that, against smaller targets, her burst can hit pretty low damage numbers, but against bigger enemies like Aishdah, she can deal a lot of damage. Number 2. Amber has a relatively long cooldown for her elemental skill. Number 3. Amber has low base damage and HP compared to other units in the game. Number 4. The Archer playstyle. I don't really see this as a con, but a lot of people do hate playing archers as well, archers. Unless it's Ganyu. Amber requires you to actually play like an archer. Most of the other archers in the game aren't really used for their archery. Unless you're playing as Ganyu, or applying Riptide with your bow as Tartaglia. Diona plays more as a support healer and shielder, not as a main damage with her bow. Fischl is mostly used for Oz, and sometimes for physical DPS. Venti for his crowd control, and Child for his Hydroblades. Amber could be used for her skills and bursts, but I hardly see anybody use her in that way unless they have Constellation 2 or above, which is pretty hard to get since starter characters never get featured in any raid-up banners. Well, then why main her, you ask? To answer that, my answer is yes. I don't care about any meta and all that stuff. I care about enjoying the character and the experience of the game. Amber has been there since day one, and I will continue to use her because I just love her character and her playstyle. It's all up to you if you want to main Amber or not. This is the part where I make some ending, outro type thing, but I don't think I'm gonna make one of those. All I can say for you is
California deserves to be freaking burned to the